When I say Barcelona, what is the first name that comes to your mind? Is it Messi, Xavi, Guardiola, Ronaldinho, or even Laporta? Why not? Or Enrique? Now, you might say that I'm missing a huge name, and to be honest, yes, it was a time when the club was in debt into a huge crisis, and it was a time when they had some relative success in the mid 1980s, having signed Maradona, winning the league, reaching the European Championship finals, and even winning the Copa del Rey. There was a lot of tension in the club. The president of the club and the president of the Spanish autonomous community, their relationship was deteriorating, and even fans stopped believing. They stopped coming to the matches, and the number of attendees were getting low continuously. In this whole chaos, there was one man. There was one man whom the club trusted. He took risks, and the rewards followed. He was even named the El Salvador. The man was Johan Cruyff. So it was 25th of April in 1947 when Johan was born, and he actually lived just 5 minutes distant from the Ajax stadium, and that's how Ajax also happened to be his first football club. And also it was his first football club, and he was only 10 years old when he joined the Ajax's youth system. He actually used to play with his friends in his neighborhood in the nearby ground, and it was the Ajax's youth coach Jamie van der Veen who actually saw the talent in Johan, and he was actually one of the very rare players who got into the youth system without giving any formal trials. His father actually worked in the Ajax stadium, and but still there were twists in the story because he lost his father at the age of 12, and it really impacted his life from a very early age. He became a very heavy smoker. Johan played his first game for Ajax in the year 1964 in the November against Groningen, formerly known as GBAB, when he scored the only goal in their defeat against them. And but when he played the next season, 1965, they won the league, and he scored 25 goals in 23 games. And from there, Johan didn't stop. He won the league in 1966, 1967, and 1968 season for 3 consecutive years, and he didn't stop. In 1970, he did get a groin injury while playing, but upon his return, he took the jersey number 14, and it was quite unusual for players to wear a number apart from 1 to 11 for non-starters, like for the starters, sorry. And in 1971, he won the European Cup with the Ajax team, and he became the Dutch and European Player of the Year in that year. In 1972, again he won the European Cup, and questions were being raised against the Italian side, Inter Milan, whom they defeated in the finals, for the defensive side and against the total football that Ajax used to play. And in 1973, 72 to 73 season, again Ajax won the third successive European Cup, and again Johan was crowned as the European Player of the Year once again. Johan Cruyff was already suggested by the English coach at Camp Nou at that point of time in the 1973 season by Vic Buckingham, and he was the same coach who gave debut to Johan Cruyff when he was at Ajax. So it was obvious why he was suggesting it to Barcelona, and it was a time when the deal was very intense, and there was foreign ban going on in the league, and foreign players were not, it was not very easy to let them and or even allow them to play because of the ban, and it got lifted, and then the signing happened, and it took more than 3 hours of continuous talk between the then president of the club, and the lawyers of Johan Cruyff and Johan Cruyff himself, and more than 3 hours of meeting, and they finally deal. Johan came to the team. He made his debut against Granada, and Barcelona had won only 2 games out of 7, and they were fourth from the bottom in that season. Johan came and everything changed. There was continuously unbeaten run, and there was no game that Barcelona lost when Johan played or he scored. And by the end of the season, it was Barcelona who got crowned the La Liga title, who got crowned the league championship, and it was totally Johan who made it possible. And Barcelona beat Real Madrid 5-0 at their own home ground, the Santiago Bernabeu. It was a fortune that Barcelona was waiting for, and it was for the first time in 14 years after 1960 that Barcelona won a La Liga league title. It was very impossible, and it was Johan Cruyff who made it possible. By the year 1978, he had some series of poor investments, and he had to move to US. It was a time when he was considering retirement, and he moved to US eventually because of his poor investments. Then he came back to Spain, joined Levante, played for them, and then afterwards he came to Ajax once again. Ajax were not doing well, and he brought to the second position by the end of the season in that year. Ajax were not willing to continue with Johan Cruyff, and they said that they don't want to sign a contract with him. So he joined the Ajax's rival Feyenoord, and that's how the story is of his playing career. He retired at Feyenoord against playing a Qatari club, Al Ahly, in their own stadium. The international career of Johan Cruyff is he played 48 games for the nation, and he scored 33 goals. It was because of him in 1974 Netherlands reached the finals of the World Cup, and they couldn't win. They were the runner-ups for the season, and Johan, of course, being so great, he became the player of the tournament. He won 3 Ballon d'Ors, 1971, 1973, 1974. So, as we see the chronology, we get that wherever Johan played, the team was winning, and there was some magnetic force, there was some kind of energy that Johan was bringing in, that anywhere he went, the team was continuously clinching titles, winning games, and winning games by huge margin. That is very important, and not only winning, but it was a kind of play that he brought, and people used to say that he could run all over the pitch. Nobody played like him, and that's how Johan was in his playing career. After his playing career, he went to the Ajax's youth system, and he started coaching there. And as soon as he came again, the teams did well. They started doing well, and that's how Johan Cruyff was very crucial for any team wherever he went. And it was his philosophy of total football that he brought as a manager and as a player, that when he was a player, and as a manager when he brought it was very powerful. We have a crazy story that we might not know about Johan Cruyff. After successfully making his nation qualify for the 1978 World Cup, before going to the World Cup, there was an incident in Johan's life which he didn't share it at that point of time, but he did share it a lot of years, a couple of decades later. and he says that there was a gunman uh, who actually came into his house, and he tied his hands and he tied his wife's hands. His children were not at home at that point of time, and that was one incident which which was a very integral thing for not making him being present for his nation. And it was that incident, and it was actually them asking him not to play for the nation. And that incident really changed things for Johan Cruyff. And when things like these happen in anyone's life, you you really think about little things in more depth and more detail about how you would like to approach them. And that was one major reason, as he says, for him not at playing the 1978 World Cup for the Netherlands. And his coaching career, he of course began with Ajax. His mentor, Rinus Michels, he really followed the footsteps of him. We talk about total football and his crazy strategies and the way Johan Cruyff approached the game. Actually, it was Rinus who really initiated that initial thought, and it was actually implemented by Johan Cruyff. And that's how we know Johan, and that's how we know the impact of that strategy, that playing style that has been. And in 1987, he made that possible with the Ajax youth, young side of Ajax, making them reach the European finals, and not even reach, but making them win that tournament. That is how Johan, everywhere he went, he just made sure the club won trophies for the side. And when in 1989, when he came to Barcelona, and this was the second time, this is where the club was in debt. Barcelona was in debt and into a huge crisis. The Catalonia, the president of the Spanish autonomous community, and the club's president, their relationships are deteriorating. Fans are not coming. I mean, there had to be something that Johan Cruyff could do as a manager, and that's where the dream team came in. He brought players like Guardiola. We know him, one of the greatest managers alive, and Koeman, Stojkovic, Romario, and Laudrup, and so many more. And these players played in such a way for Johan, and they really made that football really attractive, and that's what made Johan's playing style, the way he approached the games, made that team really special. In the span of 5 years, Johan became one of the most successful managers for Barcelona. He won 11 trophies, in which 4 consecutive La Liga trophies. Like, it is something very, very impossible thing for anyone else to do. They won the European Cups against Sampdoria. They won the Copa del Rey. They won the Spanish España trophy, and they won every tournament. The way Johan has contributed to Barcelona, to football, to all of us, his impact is something that we still see in the current generation of players and even managers. Because if you just connect the little dots, and you will see that it has been a huge impact for all of us of being present, and Johan being present in our era. Actually, it was, if you just see Guardiola, Enrique, Xavi, Villanova, and Messi, even the players, because it has not only been the managers but also the players who connect to that style, and that's how Barcelona's philosophy was made. It was implemented by Guardiola when he came here as a manager. similarly as Johan was for Ajax or Barcelona at that point of time. Johan's dream team came to be successful when they were playing the final against Sampdoria, and he just said to his team to just go out and enjoy as much as possible for them. And the phrase that he said was "Salad in desfrutar" was the phrase, and which means go out and just enjoy yourselves. That is what Johan said, because he knew what he was and what his team could do. Ballon d'Ors, 1971, 1973, 1974. So as we see the chronology, we get that wherever Johan played, the team was winning, and there was some magnetic force, there was some kind of energy that Johan was bringing in, that anywhere he went, the team was continuously clinching titles, winning games, and winning games by huge margin. That is very very important. And not only winning, but it was a kind of pure football that he brought as a manager and as a player, that when he was a player, and as a manager when he brought it, it was very very powerful. Johan said that technique is not being able to juggle a ball thousand times, because anyone can do that by practicing. But the technique is actually being able to pass with the right foot at the right time with the right speed to the right foot of your teammate. That's where the technique comes, and that's what is important in football. And he also mentions 14 rules, 14 his basic 14 rules in his autobiography. Few being creativity, team player, initiative, personality, social involvement, and the nine other. And these are the things which makes him very unique, and we know what impact he has. A year later, in 2016, March 25th, Johan Cruyff took his last breath, and prior to his death, a week prior to his death, the virus, the cancer, actually went to his face and couldn't do anything from his left side, and that's how the demise of Johan Cruyff happened. We know about the impact that Johan Cruyff has had in his football career, and to the world, and to all the spectators, and to the footballing world, to the learners, to the athletes. It is still present in this generation of players, in this generation of managers. And any athlete, any football player, if he can, or he or she can look up to Johan and learn few things from him, they are definitely going to help him for sure. And that's not the end of this. That's the end of this episode for sure. But in the coming episode, we are going to be looking at Pep Guardiola. He is a part of the dream team, and we're going to be looking at his managerial career and his life in much more detail. Up till then, thank you for watching.